Thanks for staying with us. Councilman Ron Bowen has joined us. He's been out in the community working with some children, and it's quite interesting to hear what he's got to say about it. Councilman Bowen, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Ed. Good morning.
You are our councilman for District 4.
That's correct. That's the east side of town, or
right.
east of the river, if anybody's wanting to know geographically where I serve.
Right. And we thought it'd be good to bring you in today because you were out recently with some kids out there.
Right on the east side in my district at the Village Green, what's now the Village Green Environmental Studies School. It's the Village Green Elementary School, and I was able to participate yesterday in the National Day of Reading. I was able to go into schools again like I did last year and read to some of the children and interact with them and see the future of Port St. Lucie, so to speak.
So you got to go out and meet them, and that's interesting. You phrased that the future of Port St. Lucie, that is. What was your feeling you seeing these kids? What's it like when they're all out there in a big group and they're looking at you?
Well, first of all, the teachers and the administration at the school, I was very impressed. They had it set up for a breakfast in the library, and they had an assignment for everybody. After breakfast, you go to a certain classroom and read. And I had the privilege of reading Mrs. Simmons' class, and there were a bunch of 5- and 6-year-old kindergartners at, and yeah, they are the future of Port St. Lucie. They're just a multicultural group, and just again a very good mix of the community, and they're just full of energy and optimism. It was very contagious for me yesterday.
That's great. We could all use a little of that. It's good to get a pick-me-up that way. 5 or 6 years old, they really don't know about City Council and how City Hall is run. Do they have any sense of who was reading to them?
Yeah, well, actually, I explained to them that I had a job to do, and I was elected by the people to make sure that the police department worked and came around, and the garbage was picked up, and the water in the morning when they turn on the faucet, it's there, and just making sure all the duties and the responsibilities of government for the citizens were met. And I kind of gave them a little simplistic overview of what I did.
Sure, good practical examples they could relate to. The kids are fascinated to see the garbage truck come out there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The garbage truck too, and we talked about the recycling, and again, we talked about government a little bit, and then actually we had a little vote. We had 2 books that we were going to read yesterday, and one was The Ugly Duckling, and the other one was The 3 Little Pigs. And I actually let them vote on which book they wanted to hear first, and they wanted to hear The Ugly Duckling.
And they chose in a democratic process. They got a little taste of it of their own.
Actually, real quickly before that, I said, I'll show you how voting works. When you have a lot of people together and they can't make a decision, you have to vote on it. So I gave them the analogy, do we want a hamburger today for lunch or pizza? And they raised their hands and it was pizza. Then we had to decide whether it would be Papa John's or Pizza Hut or Domino's, and Pizza Hut won. So we segued into the books, and we my assistant Yvette got to read The Ugly Duckling to them, and I got to read The 3 Little Pigs, so it was very good.
So they got to do a little bit of both. It's funny how even at that age they seem to understand. They took a vote, and the losing side loses, and they kind of acquiesce and allow the winning side to have their way then.
Yes, again, they're just, they're so young and so innocent at that age that it's very refreshing. And again, they listen to adults, and they kind of see things, and sometimes on an adult level, and that voting process kind of resonated with them, because McDonald's or pizza or burgers they can relate to, and then what pizza chain or what hamburger chain. So they're going to have to make decisions down the road, and it's good that we were able to just kind of work with them on that area.
Now, this regular reading routine that you've gone out and done before here in May, is there a reason why they do it at this time of the school year?
Well, because I believe it's a national month or week to read, but also gets them ready for the summertime. Unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunate, but the school, we don't have year-round schools here, so when summer vacation starts here in about 3 weeks, unless the children are encouraged to read on a daily basis, they're not going to pick up a book until, end of August? And my biggest concern would be that if you're not reading on a daily basis in the summertime, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Yeah, and I gave them an example of video games. They all know how to work video games. I think you know from your daughter. And I said, pretend you can't play the video game for a couple months. How good would you be if you hadn't been playing it for a couple months? And they all understood that. And I told them, if you're not reading on a regular basis, you're not going to be prepared for the next grade in September. So I told them, get an adult to read to you, an older sibling, and go from there.
So it sounds like the school and the teacher has the good judgment to make this a fun event, to encourage it.
It was a lot of fun. We were able to bring up some T-shirts, keep Port St. Lucie beautiful, and some of our other recreational campaigns and programs we had. We brought them some T-shirts, and they were very appreciative of that. And again, well behaved. The teacher did a phenomenal job of just, her presence in the classroom, and again, these children are just smiling and just full of energy, and it was very refreshing.
Great, uplifting to see the future of the city and the world kids coming forward that are still eager and have all that
Sure,
enthusiasm.
and hopefully we'll have all the opportunities for them to stay in Port St. Lucie. You know, so it's been not a problem, but it's been a situation where we raise our children here, like I did in Port St. Lucie, educate them here. They leave and go to college, and some of them don't. A lot of them won't come back, not because they don't like the area, but there's not a lot of opportunities sometimes for employment in their field or some kind of good paying jobs that they're seeking. So the goal should be for the City Council is, watch the future of Port St. Lucie grow up in front of our eyes, but make sure that we have a bright future for them.
And you never know quite how that will pay off in the future. You don't know the kid this summer, maybe some kid will be enthusiastic because he sees it as a fun thing to do, he or she, and they go out and they start reading more, and down the road
they go to school, come
big
back
success.
as a doctor or an attorney or a social worker or somebody that the community can need. Needs.
Sounds like a lot of fun going out and meeting the kids and reading to them, having a good time, and instilling special sense in them of their future and the fun of reading.
Yeah, I hope I was able to teach them a few things, and again, I encourage them to read over the summer, but they taught me a lot, Ed. They taught me patience, and again, there's a bright future in Port St. Lucie. It was a very rewarding experience for me, and I was very happy to be part of it.
Excellent. We got another minute left here, so let's just look at what else do you have coming up? You're going to be busy this summer.
Yeah, each council person is encouraged to do some projects outside the regular council venues, and I was fortunate enough last year to be able to co-chair with the city manager, Mr. Bremer, the Summer Sunshine Toy Drive, which benefits the children at Patches, which is a pediatric nursing center for children with terminal illnesses or illnesses that prevent them from going to a regular school or daycare program. And we were able to, with the city employees' help, last year we were able to raise over 200 toys for the organization and close to $2,000 in cash contributions from our corporate sponsors. So we're in the planning stages right now for the second annual Summer Sunshine Toy Drive, which will occur in July. And it will provide toys year-round for these young children that are very sick. So that's the next project on board for me.
And those kids, they get that daycare up there at Patches, maybe if the parents have to work?
Right, yeah. These are children, a lot of them are tube-fed. A lot of them, again, have life expectancies, sadly, under 20 years. And they have working parents or parents that need respite care. So it's a daytime daycare pediatric center for very seriously ill children.
After you delivered the toys last year, you brought Santa Claus along too.
Yeah, we had the Port St. Lucie Police Department, motorcycle escort. We had Santa Claus there. There's some film footage of that sitting around here at City Hall. But yeah, it was a very rewarding experience. Some of the city employees got to go with us, deliver the toys, and they brought all the kids out together. And when they saw the motorcycles with the blue lights flashing and Santa Claus with the sleigh and the toys, and it was just a really heartfelt moment, Ed.
I saw some of the pictures from that. And it was beautiful to see the looks on their faces as these kids were getting toys and getting a special attention in the middle of the summer, and it wasn't even Christmas. They were really just thrilled by it.
Right, and I was really touched by our police officers because they were on their hands and knees and opening up the packages and helping these children assemble some of the toys. Not assemble, but get it out of the packaging, so to speak. And you can see that they were very touched by the children, and it was really just a very rewarding experience.
They love doing that. So we'll keep an eye on things, and we'll talk to you again, bring you back in to get caught up.
Yeah, there's always something happening in Port St. Lucie, and a lot of positive things, and I'm anxious to share them with all the viewers here on TV 20.
Well, great. Thank you, Councilman Ron Bowen, District 4. Pleasure to have you.
Thanks,
again.
Ed. Thank you very much.
Back soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be back after this quick message. Stay with us.